We touched on Myles Garrett signing the big extension. Um, and Andrew Berry kind of said, we're going to sign guys before they get to that option year to lock them up. Do you like the timing of it? And obviously, if Garrett can stay on the field and play the way he's capable of, he can be as dominant a pass rusher as there is.
Without a doubt. I mean, Myles is fantastic. In the past 3 years, has led in pass rush productivity in the NFL, according to metrics like Pro Football Focus. He's fantastic, right? And last year's issue is behind him, and I think he had a one-off and a really great person who had a one-off issue on the biggest stage he could have it on. And it stinks, and I think he wants to remove all of that and move forward. And the Browns didn't let it bother him at all. They didn't blink an eye. I knew they were going to give him this contract, and I thought it made sense all along because how often have the Browns had a dominant player that they've drafted? It's been so long. And think about this, Dave, when Patrick Mahomes is in the same draft, right? He goes 10th to Kansas City, and you don't hear the Browns being dogged on for not taking him first overall. That's how good Myles Garrett is, right? Like, people in the league don't poke fun at the Browns for not taking Pat Mahomes because Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett. He's really good. He's respected across the league. He's phenomenal. He's going to have a big breakout season, which is going to be a 20-sack season. I don't know when it happens. He was trending that direction, trending towards a Defensive Player of the Year nomination last year. If the Browns break out, have a good season, 10-6, 11-5, he's going to be a big part of that. He's going to have 15-plus sacks. He's going to be in the name category for Defensive Player of the Year. It's all there. This is a great signing. There's no other way to put it. It's a guy who loves Cleveland, a guy who has leadership qualities, and he wants to be here, which is huge, and he wants to be a big reason they turn it around. And look, you talk about signing guys early. If Denzel Ward has a breakout season, they're going to look to lock him up for a long time. If Baker has the year we think he might have, contract negotiations will start with Baker because he's had 2 out of 3 really good years. So this front office is going to be aggressive with their young talent. Like you said, they've made it known. They want to lock these guys up that are going to be here for a long time. The cap is sort of malleable in that nature. You can certainly bend it to fit what you need it to fit for the most part. You can't have 32 high paid players, but if you got young talent, you can lock it up and do so in a way that allows your franchise to keep it for a long time. And I'm excited about it. There's a lot of guys who are on the precipice of having those years in year 3 that could prove to be like the same type of mold Myles is. So if Myles is hitting leadoff here with this whole thing, and we start to see this trend that, as Browns fans, we haven't seen it. That was a big thing that when they lock Myles up, I'm like, this is kind of how it feels to lock up young talent for a long time. Hopefully we can see more of that trend coming, because if that trend is coming, they're winning games and they're making the playoffs.
And you're right. That kind of leads perfectly into what I'm thinking is, as Browns fans, people haven't had to deal with that because you haven't had the talent that you need to lock up. But it looks like it's coming, which, the only thing I can say for Browns fans is finally.
Yeah, right. I mean, the Chiefs give Pat Mahomes $500 million, and then they lock up Chris Jones for $80 million more. It's like Browns fans are so unaccustomed to being in the position where they hear these signings and they're signing these players that we've been living in fear for like the past 3 years about how are they going to lock up all these guys. Well, they will. They'll find a way. There's ways the cap can be manipulated so that you're paying out bonus structures and different things at different times that doesn't necessarily hurt or overlap all too much. They're in a great position. They have the most cap in the league right now at this point in the offseason. They're going to pay Myles a lot of money up front and then allow for the back half contracts like Hooper and Conklin to be able to be paid out without being too much stress on the salary cap. You got guys that are running this thing at the top who certainly understand money and structure, and that's what Andrew Berry's good at, and they'll be fine. I have no doubt about it. They'll be fine. So don't freak out when they sign people. That's a good thing. That's what they're supposed to be doing, is locking young guys up for the foreseeable future. If you get 10, 12, 13, 14 really good players, eventually some guys will have to walk. That's the nature of the beast. But that's the position you want to be in, because then you have talent that has proven itself. And when talent is proving itself, you're winning games, you're in the playoffs, and you're maybe hunting to get into a Super Bowl someday.